Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and I don't know, I'm having the day that, you shouldn't have got out of bed. The trading was fine, but I think it started last night when I called Sunday the 19th, and I do appreciate you all writing me and saying to me I must have my calendars wrong or my brain wrong. It was the 18th yesterday. Today is the 19th. But that was just the beginning for me. I woke up this morning and everything I did on computers was wrong. I couldn't get my updates out on time. This video tonight, this is my third rendition. I have done everything wrong getting this one done. So I am going to have a nice dinner, fish tonight, to be a good boy, and not worry about all this. It is strange. Now, you do know that on Friday, Moody's downgraded the U.S. by a notch and joined the other two major credit agencies. And over the weekend, you, like me, were reading financial papers. Look out Monday. We're going over 5% in the 30-year bond, maybe 5.05, and this market's going to crack the stock market when that happens. Well, number one, it did get over 5%. It couldn't stay there. And the stock market did just fine. Most of the indices came back up. The weakness is in the Russell and the RSP. All right. When we take a look at BND, yes, interest rates are up, so that should go down. Energy prices down a little, but the futures really didn't crack. So that's more or less the drillers and everybody that's with that. OIH is directly related to the oil. Putin and the president did talk today. Since I'm talking oil, it's a good lead-in for that. And as we saw, the president just seems to be, I don't know, very timid, in my opinion, with Putin. I don't know what's being said, how it's being said, but walks out of it. And when you read the Russian take on it, they're going to get a memorandum of what they want done. They'll put that together over time. No timetable was given. He would like Zelensky and Putin to talk. Well, the president can order Zelensky to talk. We know that. But what's going to happen with Putin? He'll do it when he wants to do it and how he wants to do it. But he'll always say, yes, we will have a conversation. If I'm the European Union, I've got to be saying, what the heck? When does this end? All right? Because I really think President Trump is acting timid. And why is beyond me. I haven't the slightest idea, but that's my impression. Am I on the no on the inside? Absolutely not. So you can have a different opinion. You're probably better than I am. The gold market up. All parts of the metals, in fact. Why? The market is got right that inflation is a problem. The market's got right that this tax bill is now finally, the U.S. bill, gotten out of the budget committee. Now it's going to go to the House and be played with a little more before a vote comes. But I don't see the spending cuts that this market desperately needs. And that is where it can fall on its face, or they'll pull enough different things to get it kicked out of the House, go back to the Senate, knowing it'll be rejected there, then back and forth, and we'll see where this goes. Politics at its absolute worst is what I expect. The SALT states, as you know, they all want more for taxes, real estate tax, mortgage interest, car interest. I mean, it's crazy. Why should that all be? I mean, just my own opinion. All right. So as we take a look at where we're at, maybe we should look at the news of the day before we get too far. For the news, it's lightweight news. You're going to have the Red Book Group with their weekly retail sales, Boston President Collins speaking, the API numbers at 3:30 in the afternoon. I think it's Home Depot. One of them's going to be with the earnings tomorrow, too. It's not a big heavyweight calendar. So let's go and see what we've got. When you look at Tesla, the market has stalled. That doesn't mean it can't go higher, but this is a stall. You've suddenly got a higher high and a lower low on the chart. Number two, in the hit parade, remember, this is the time frame that the president said that Musk is leaving DOGE and going back to run his company. Well, he's obviously, just the idea that he's back there is enough to kick the stock higher. You still have to prove that the car sales can pick up. I hear that there's a 10,000 unit backlog of cyber sale. In other words, cars ready to be delivered that nobody wants. The discount on that Cybertruck is running, from what I'm reading, I don't have one, I'm reading it, 35%. So if you just bought it, you're getting annihilated. That's a big number to get in a car that's just months old. So for me, we'll see. He's got his work cut out. We will see what he can do about it. But that's the auto division. Do remember, in Tesla's all these other phenomenal companies, money-making companies, the battery companies, the boring company, there's all these other things that you win on. Cars are cars at the end of the day. But he's got a magic about him. I'd never bet against him. You've got a higher high, lower low pattern. What else do we have? The market has now seen a crossover where the 18-day average of close just got over the 200-day. The 100 is next up and ready to rock. And the market's been running the Bollinger Bands. It began right here, and that black line, that dashed one, is what keeps containing the market on the rally. Okay. Momentum-wise, you're embedded. So what I think's going to happen, I think the market will use a break, and you might see a Tuesday break. Why? Monday rally, Tuesday break, Yale Hirsch, Stock Traders Almanac, although today wasn't very big one way or the other. In any case, I wouldn't be surprised if the market tries to keep its support between the 320 all the way down to the 301 level, as long as the red line doesn't close over. I'm sorry, let me say it right. Remember, I told you everything's wrong today. Under 79. That keeps the momentum up. Get under that, and I think the trade goes bye-bye. Maybe prices will get to that 18-day average. You want to sit there for a little bit. In Eli Lilly, you're knocking on the door of trying to get out of here. Come on up. Now, did we embed? Both numbers were under 20, as you can see. Right here, both numbers under 20. And right here, both numbers under 20. And right here, under 20. I just want to make a point. And right here. You've had a long embedded reading. If the market loses this reading and the red line closes over 21, I look for an immediate challenge of the 18-day average of closes. That's not necessarily a buy. It would be a reason to no longer be short, and that big break may have run its course. In Broadcom, well, as you can see, you still have the embedded reading. I believe the trade is buying this break in the market, still looking to see if it goes higher. If the red, which is right now at a 90.9 level, closes under 79, I think they'll bail. Barring that, with this bullish crossover that just happened, the 18-day average just got over the 100, so it's a bullish setup. The shortest term average, the 18's over the 100, the 100's over the 200, and prices are above all of it. That's a friendly setup for the market. In Google, I'd be a bit cautious. You're overbought right here. I see three resistance points from the upper Bollinger Band to the 200-day average and the 18. Certainly not a spot, in my opinion, to deploy new cash into that market. In Netflix, lower low, higher high at the Bollinger Band, trying to set up its embedded reading. I think this is such a rich market, I'd be careful. Although I understand they're getting Sesame Street and some of the other things that have now been available, and that will just make people watch this more, especially with their kids and so on. So that's a coup for them, but I think it's rich in valuation. In Robinhood, no change. New highs for this move. So now you're back up to these levels here, still embedded, still bullish as can be. Remember when people were saying on that break, the retail trader's dead? No, they're not. These kids are alive and kicking. Then we get to ExxonMobil. I've got bear signals. Lower highs, lower lows. You're under the 18-day average and momentum is down. You'd have to get back over Friday's high, and we can talk about that. That number would be, if I can get this to accept the command. Let's see, sometimes you got to do this and come back. And it doesn't want to do it. There we go. Finally, delayed reaction, like me. It would have to get over 108.89 in order to negate the downtrend. Barring that, I can make an argument for the 103.58 level in this market. Notice how everything's slow today? I'm telling you, I'm having one of these days. In stocks, nah. That's where the trade is taking profit. That is not the spot I'd be telling you to buy this market in any manner. Financial services, XLF on good breaks. This still looks like a buy. Another event has happened. Do you see the 18-day average just got over the 100? Market after market. The week of the April 11th, April 7th, break low. When you look back at it, how this market has come back and not challenged those lows, amazing. There were articles this weekend, and I think it was Bloomberg. Billionaires are still saying the market's going to go challenge those lows. Well, there are a series of billionaires that are saying that. You've seen them. I've seen them. They've been interviewed on TV, and it's one after the other. That doesn't mean they're right this market. They didn't make a lot of these guys their billions in the market. They made it in industry and other things they do. So we'll see what goes on, but so far it doesn't look bearish to me. In XLI, you got embedded reading. If I teach you anything, that's the most bullish reading you can have. Breaks in the market and the big industry companies, they're getting bought, and they'll continue to until that reading is lost. Then the XLE, this almost matches up with some of the other energies. Chevron that we just saw. Lower highs, lower lows, could be pulling back to the 18-day average to regroup. If you notice this number here, you don't have an embedded reading, you have an overbought market. Then in the gold market, has gold bottomed out? That is really the question to be asked. With the move you just had, yet this wave on the down is over. That does not mean it's begun a bull wave. It means that bear leg is over in the market. Now, I think you take your thumbs like that and you're wondering what is next. Silver market, still under selling pressure, still under the 18-day average, has now gotten itself into oversold territory. So now I don't think you can press the short side, but there's certainly nothing I'm seeing there. In copper, I'd get very concerned if you take out Friday's lows in this market. I mean, super concerned. The market's holding exactly to the T where it has to stay bullish. It held the combination of 39.14, the 100-day average, and the red, the 18-day average. You get under 39.04, and I can make an argument for the lower band of 37.70. In BND, well, I don't want to bet that interest rates are going down. I'll let you do that. To me, interest rates are steady and going higher. Why? Inflation, us not attacking it. I understand the long-term play of the Trump administration is we'll bring in more business to pay for the extra expenses. You know how long that's going to take. So this market's, that's what it's feeding itself off of. It's too oversold to press it, but I understand what the game is. In the dollar, you know, you're headed back from the looks of it to the 18-day average to figure out what to do. It had its pop. You're coming back down. Again, the problems aren't resolved, and the euro probably getting its pop to go up to the 18-day average and fight its battle there. Lot said, and I got it done. I am so laughing at myself today. You can't believe it. You know, I want to remind you, one of the ways you can start out with me every single morning when I get things right is my combo package. I cover 40 futures markets, many of them related to the SPDR ETF market. Then I cover the ETFs, the stock market, SPDRs, all in there, talking both to a mixture of fundamentals, weekly charts, daily charts. My job is to give you buy and sell signals as I see them, and if they kick and get you going onto something you wanted to do yourself, that's the goal. Do I track my trades? Yes. Do I list them as they're open on the sheets? I do. Do I publish a track record on past performance? No. What's open is what we follow, because what I did in the past doesn't matter. It's what you're in right now that does. So why don't you give it a try? Go to iraepstein.com research, go to the word research, sign up for the package, and I'll catch with you in the morning then. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great day. I'll be going to bed shortly. Take care.